Welcome to Veterans Corner, all things veterans here in Dayton, Massachusetts. This is a new show, and we hope to be able to bring it to you once a month. It's going to focus on veterans benefits in Dayton. It will be it'll be focusing on all things veterans in Dayton. We'll be interviewing Dayton veteran residents here that want to tell a story and keep us updated on what they're doing and their experience in the military. I'm Ray Haig, and I'm the Director of Veteran Services for Dayton, for the town of Dayton, and I work at Town Hall, the old Town Hall over here on Somerset Avenue. We have hours all week long, and I'm there 3 days a week. And we are open on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The office hours are from 7:30 to 5, where I have a full-time assistant handling veterans issues, and I'm in the office between 7:30 and 1:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays, although I can be reached anytime for veterans issues. My cell phone is on the website, and I will take calls 7 days a week for veterans issues. I'd like to start off with our first guest today, and our first guest here is Dave Marvel. Some of you may know Dave from around town. He's the chairman of the Cable Committee. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and he is also the person that tapes all the meetings that you do see on Channel 9, such as the Board of Selectmen and other cable shows.
Correct.
And how long you been doing that?
Probably myself, maybe 10 years. Originally, Ed Only and Jim Redding ran the station for many, many years, and they were getting ready to retire. And I was sort of like underneath their wings, and so after they left, I pretty much took it over, but we had to revamp all the equipment, to get 4K cameras. The crew consists of 3 of us. We all worked. We split up the work as far as filming. Sometimes Laura would be uploading like the special shows you see on Channel 9. Those are like PEG movies that other towns contribute, and they go in the pool, and we get to, use some of those. A lot of them educational. I think I was in the office last week, and they were, talking about different types of birds during the winter, and it was, quite fascinating. So it keeps us busy.
Yeah, so this is a nice office. This is all new equipment and up and running here, and we are in the studio. So. And
just to let you know, Ray, you're first one to use the studio officially. So congratulations.
Oh, and this is our maiden segment for Veterans Corner, and I'd like to thank you, number one, for your service, and also for agreeing to come here and tell a little bit of your story. I see here that you were in the Air Force.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, when I went in, it was at the age of 19. I was one of those teenagers, didn't know what to do with myself. And every time I went to the recruiter's office, I would go in and sign. But when it came to that second signature, I usually walk away, say, I need time to think about it. And eventually, after about 6 months or so, I went back and I signed up. And basically, I was stationed at Castle Air Force Base. That was in Northern California. And that was a Strategic Air Command. And what that basically is when I believe they're called, if they want to become general, I've been looking for the title before that. Full bird, they get a full bird eagle, I think it's called. And the next step is get general. And usually they come to Castle Air Force Base. Either they're going to make it or they usually ship them out. And it was interesting. It was I lived in base housing for a little while. They were really like brothers with brothers. Like one time I bought a sofa off somebody, and I said, I don't know how I'm going to get it over to my house. He goes, well, hold on, where do you live? I'll call Sergeant Myers up. Myers is coming down with a truck right now. He's going to move that sofa inside for you. And I just like the teamwork and
teamwork.
when I got involved with. I think I learned a lot of great skills from being in the Air Force.
I see you were at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas for
All basic
that
training.
was your basic training, and then you end up in SAC, Strategic Air Command.
Yeah, that's where I get stationed, which is in Northern California. Lackland Air Force Base is tough. I was in there probably June, and that's when the weather down in Texas gets really warm. It gets, really hot. So it was a good experience.
So what was your MO in the Air Force? What did you actually do?
Actually, I wanted to be a chef at one time, so I went in food service for 4 years.
I hear this food's pretty good in the Air Force.
Oh, it's very good. It's they can't complain at all. They eat very, very well, and then yeah. So I was a cook in the service for 4 years. I worked the 4:30 in the morning shift. One day I was late for my shift, and they cured that pretty quick. They told me that I needed to work 12 hours for a full week. I said, why? Because you missed a shift. You came in late during the shift. So you learn a lot of hard lessons when you're in the Air Force.
So you know a little bit about the veteran services here because you film us, and you come into the office, and everyone knows you, and they know you've been in town for a long time. I've been here for around almost 9 years now. How do you find veteran services in Dighton? Do you think they're doing a pretty good job, or you think anything could be added?
No, I think you're doing a great job.
Not me personally. I'm talking about the services in general that's available.
I think sometimes with services, with veterans, is sometimes they come out, they don't want that. I call it a hand up, not a hand out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of them, when they come back, they just want to be left alone. But unfortunately, with some of our veterans, that they can probably use a hand up, as far as like maybe training or medical and things like that. I think there's a lot out there offered to them, but sometimes I think they're kind of hesitant as far as going in the office. And I'm hoping, like, maybe while you're doing these shows and show the different things you have to offer, maybe bring some of these veterans back.
Yeah, we hope to have part of the show to be informational. We recently had the PAC Act that's been signed through, which speaks to any kind of hazardous type of exposure veterans have had, all the way from Vietnam now all the way down to where we are over in the Gulf. And there's been a lot of exposure. And what they've done is they've made it easier to get the compensation you should be getting. And it's been going very well. We've had quite a few Dighton residents take advantage of that. And what it does, it puts some money in their pocket, and that money gets spent right here in local zip codes, which is pretty good. We have approximately 470 veterans living in town, according to our census, and about 75 or 80 of those are disabled veterans getting some type of compensation for their disabilities. And I encourage all veterans to contact my office to find out if you're eligible for anything else that we could help them along with any discounts on their real estate taxes that they can get. So yeah, we're a full service office over there, and we see quite a few veterans. I know you go to our veterans breakfast that is a big success here in town.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm usually taping, but once it's over and you guys have the goodies out there,
Yeah.
I make sure I take a walk
Yeah,
over.
and we appreciate. We have like 100 veterans coming down. I'd like to see more, and it's always on the Saturday before Veterans Day, over here in the Old Town Hall upstairs. It's been very successful, so we'd like to see more veterans come to that.
Now, if a vet wants to come see you, do they make an appointment, or is their office is open? Or
Appointments are welcome, but
Okay.
you can walk in anytime. I've always had an open door policy.
Okay.
You can call me anytime. We have different issues that, especially when if a veteran passes away and some family member wants to have an idea of what's available to them, those calls we take, 7 days a week.
Oh, those are good calls to take.
Yeah. But for the most part, yeah, people walk in and looking for different things. There are some appointments. I'll always make an appointment if you want to come in for an appointment. But most part, it's open door policy.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, we try to help veterans, and we stay in tune. We're all of VSOs in Massachusetts are certified. I just finished my test that gives you a 3-year certification, but
Oh, very good.
yeah, it doesn't make you any smarter. It just makes you certified.
So they come after you for the job after, you know.
Yeah. So,
no, but-
anything else you can tell us about your time in the service?
I thought my time in the service was pretty good. I was over by the Yosemite Mountains, so that's like maybe an hour and a half away. And so usually when we do get time off, you know, I get a Saturday or Sunday off. We'll travel up to Yosemite Mountains.
Did you see El Capitan?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did
My
you?
wife's funny though; she won't get out of the car back then because
Really?
we were so high. You know, we're driving all the way up, and then I said, "Come on out, let's look at the view." Like, you look at the view, and you let me know how it looks, and I'll stay in the car. And it was great. I had my first son, who was my oldest son, was born in at a Air Force hospital, and it was funny when I got the bill. It was like $15. You owe us $15 for delivering your son, and the care was
Well,
great.
you have 3 boys.
I had 3 boys. Only 2 of them, actually 2 served, and 1 went the
So-
civilian route.
2 veterans followed you?
Yeah.
And what branch were they in?
My oldest one was Josh. He was in the Marines. Yeah, he served over in Let me get this straight. He was over in Iraq, but he lived most of his time in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And he loved it. He had a great gig out there. He, you know, went out to visit him, and he had a great time. My other son, Justin, he did 2 tours, Afghanistan and Iraq, but he was stationed Camp Lejeune most of the time
yeah.
when they get deployed out and bring them back in.
And where do they live?
They live in Justin lives in Dayton with me, and then my other son lives out in Connecticut.
So do you think the son that lives in Dayton will come and sit in this chair with me and give us a little bit
We
of
can
his
always give a shout
backstory?
out to him
Yeah,
and see. It'd be great.
yeah.
Because we would love as cable to see, you know, more people come, get interviewed, maybe tell us their stories where they were. One funny story was, like, when I was in, it was totally peacetime. And then when it got to 1979, the Iranian crisis happened. And as people know, they took those people in for over a year. And all of a sudden, like, we went from peacetime to getting ready for war. Like, all of a sudden, we got dog tags, we had duffel bags. And a sergeant made a comment like, I have to stand behind you guys, because if I stand in front of you, you probably all take off on me. But we were pretty gung-ho, and we really we wanted to get involved with that. And then I think the worst part for us is when with, you know, some of the, I believe the helicopters went in try to free the hostages, and some of them crashed. I think 3 or 4 pilots
Yeah, they
died.
ended up in the sand.
Yeah, and it was like, the way to explain it, it's almost like when John F. Kennedy got assassinated. That's how we felt around the base.
Yeah.
We just felt like we lost our brothers over
Well,
there.
you
and-
were on standby ready because
Yeah.
it was similar to the missile crisis in Cuba in 1963. I believe we were in the same state of readiness, and that lasted until the Gulf War, 1990.
Well, I know.
I believe
it's-
it was around 1990 when we went into, I think was Saddam Hussein. I think they were after him at that particular time. But the time you're speaking of, from 1975 until then, was the longest, I believe, peacetime for the United States of America that we went in some type of conflict or another.
Right,
And,
definitely.
you know, then we all know what's happened. And it'll be interesting to talk to some of the veterans that are coming back now. The difference in when we were in, you would go on one deployment. You know, of course, when I was in, they had the draft. You missed that, just missed it. But now I talk to young veterans that have 3 deployments. Some of them have been wounded 2, 3 times, and they keep sending them back out of the National Guard. And we have some right here in town. I'd like to speak to some of those and see if they would like to tell their story, introduce themselves to the town.
No, I think that'd be great. You
Yeah.
know, we all can learn from our veterans telling us, you know, what they've been through. I know when I was in, I was very happy. I mean, it's like wearing the uniform and everything else. And then when the 4 years passed, definitely I didn't want to stay in because I felt like if you stayed in for 8 years, you got to stay in for the whole 20 years to get benefits. I'm like, nah, I think I'm set.
So
I wanna
one
go
of your
home.
bases got closed in that sweeping closure of bases?
Yeah,
and-
Castle Air Force Base. It was funny. It just got a do-over. They did like the BX all over again. They did I forgot the housing was all done over, and then like 6 months later, Washington decided like we need to slap some bases. So Castle Air Force Base got shut
A
down.
lot of the closures never made sense to me. They closed a lot of Newport, the naval base in Newport. And, you know, when I was in, it was I think it was one of the fleet homes, a lot of ships. And now they, you know, they closed it down. They moved it along, you know.
Yeah, I just don't get it. You think you want more protection with having these bases around. I mean, if you go back to the 50s, you probably was told this too, like, what was it called? We were looking out for the Russians back then. We had some old stations out here, I think up in Somerset maybe?
Swansea,
Yeah, the old housing still up there, remember
they
that?
had the missile base in Swansea.
That's what it is. What do they
Yeah.
call it? It was a certain name for that. I can't think of it right now.
As youngsters, teenagers, we called it the missile base. Let's go to the missile base.
They had one down there, and then you go over by across the street from the auction. There was another military building over there too, and I believe Blue Hills had supposedly had a missile up there at the time during the Cold War. And it's funny where, like you say, you go into a peacetime, and now we're sort of like going back to that Cold War era again. You get a little nervous when you get, you know, a lot of
I don't know.
countries.
The landscapes look a little hot to me. If you
You
know
mean
any right
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah, I think so too. You know.
Yeah, right now, and yeah, so interesting. You know, in a SAC command, and you served our country, and you've been to a few of the bases that have been closed, and that just shows to show our age, I guess, and
Yeah.
we're getting along. But, you know, it takes a little bit to be 19 years old, 18 years old, and step up and, you know, sign that dotted line, because you do sign it with your faith and promise to defend with your life. And a lot of people don't understand that. And, you know, more so now since 9/11, but when I get out, we ran into a tough time. We ran into a real tough time, Vietnam vets, and
Oh, they weren't treated well at all.
oh, we
It
weren't
was
treated
terrible.
well at all. But we kept plugging away, and I think now things are going pretty good for veterans. And we have another part of the Chapter 115 that a lot of people in Dayton do not take advantage of simply because of their financial status and their income. But Massachusetts has a program, Chapter 115. If there's low-income veterans, we provide a monthly stipend, and we pay all medical.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and what happens is the state pays 75% reimbursement for any monies that the town expends, and the town has to pay 25%. And that program has been in Massachusetts since just right after the Civil War.
And how many people are in that program today, you think?
Today in Dayton, I think there's 5, and I also do Berkeley, and I believe right now Berkeley has 1.
Okay.
But we're always available for that intake, and every once in a while, someone will end up in town. You know, it happens if a spouse passes away. When there's 2 incomes, it's usually fine, and then all of a sudden, so we're there. We're a safety net, and it's a good program. And Massachusetts is the only state in the union that has it.
Really? Very
Yes.
good. Now, what about the VA hospitals? Are they still pretty good for an open door policy with veterans?
Yes, the VA hospitals have changed tremendously over the last few years, and the services are great. We have 2 clinics here, one in New Bedford, Massachusetts, and one in Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
Okay.
Now, mostly any veteran, no matter what your income status is, can get on the VA healthcare system if you served honorably. And all you have to do is fill out one form, send it in, then they'll assign you a, um, a section, and most of the time you could even get your primary from there, but you don't have to. And the big thing for veterans, which sometimes they don't realize, they're paying high copays, but if you get into the system, you'll never pay any more than $8 right
Wow,
now.
that's great.
And some of the drugs today carry some pretty hefty copays from their private insurance. You do not have to have a VA doctor. You can have your primary physician, private, write the prescription. As long as you're in the VA system, you can go there and have them filled.
Oh, that's very good. Okay.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And we have a lot of things that the state of Massachusetts brings down. We have employment opportunities. We have educational opportunities. There's always a lot of different forums or conferences around that veterans can go to. And like I say, here in Dayton, we're available to give all that information on a daily basis to
Okay.
veterans. What happens in the office, if I'm not there because I'm strictly part-time, Nancy Pinto, who you know has
Yep.
been there for a while and really, really a great advocate for veterans, she will take any information and pass it along, or she has so much institutional knowledge, will give it off to the veteran that comes in. So it's lucky to have that type of operation here, right here in Dayton.
Oh yeah, definitely. And especially, like any of you guys out there are hurting or anything like that, as far as come on down and try to get this information.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably so much out there. We're probably missing some of it, right? Because we just don't know what's out there.
Yeah, and we have all the up-to-date laws and things that the VA is doing and what we're lobbying for available at the office. I have a couple of books on the desk here that are available at any time. This one here is the one that we would be pretty much talking about, what every veteran should know.
Very good.
And in this book is anything to do with veterans benefits that you could get, and how to get them, and all the numbers to call and to reach. And that's available in the office, and that's
Okay.
one of my Bibles that I go to. And we have books like this. I just gave one of these books to the Historical Society here for their archives. And it's a book all about the Vietnam War. Governor Charlie Baker commissioned that book, and he wanted to see that every Vietnam veteran in Massachusetts got one of these books. And he was really, really a friend to veterans, and he would go around and say welcome home, because he knew that we weren't welcomed home, and he made that his mantra. And he gave us $600,000 to build a monument in Fall River.
Really? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
That's a beautiful monument. It's almost similar to this one here, right?
Well, we do have, that one is in Fall River also. That's the Iwo Jima Monument.
That's down there.
And that's down there at 75% size.
Okay.
And the Vietnam Memorial that's there is 80%
Where is that
replica.
located down? It's down near
It's
the
on
bridge?
Duval Street. It's hard to get there now because
Okay.
it's all tore up. And it's called Veterans Memorial Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely want to check that out. And I know it's nice down there, especially in the summer. You
Well,
want to
there's
bring your
other
family
monuments
lunches.
there. And when I was doing a VA job in Fall River, that was my project, and I brought a lot of monuments in. The Gold Star Family Monument, the state official Gold Star Family Monument, is there, and we have a Korean War monument there. We have a lot of World War II monuments that have been relocated because of different construction projects, and they've been relocated.
Wow. I didn't know you had that many down there.
Yeah.
It sounds like you can make a day of it, go down there, bring a lunch, and
It's just a wonderful park. I mean, you can start at either end. If you start at the Battleship end,
right.
and that's a contiguous walkway all the way down to the park. So it's a little shy of a mile.
Okay.
That it's all built out. When you get down there, you will see all the monuments and benches, and just a nice place to be.
Very good. You get a chance to reflect while you're down
A
there.
lot
which
of
is great.
flags, and a lot of people try to tell us that wasn't going to come to southeastern Massachusetts, and because it was going to be a Boston thing and it was going to be a Cambridge thing, and we grabbed it and we got
Oh,
it done.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, in which we're working on a few things here in Dayton for monuments. We have the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence coming up. So we have well over 70 veterans that passed, that, of course, they were in the militia in the 1776, and they're buried here in Dayton. And one of our goals is to erect a monument and put them names on it right here at Veterans Park,
That'd be great. I used
where
to
you
be.
set up our video.
Yeah, it's getting a lot better. I'm glad where it is today. I know we got the silence of the traffic, and once again, I use the word chance to reflect. To me, I think as a veteran, you feel like you got to be there. You want to see the other veterans, and you just want that time to reflect and see, it's just what direction you're going, and it's a great thing. I used to be a grave officer too when I first started in town, when I started working for the town of Dayton part-time. And there was a lot of revolutionary soldiers that passed away, and there's a few of them in some of these graveyards. And just
One of them, Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yeah,
Not Revolution, that would be Civil War.
that would be for Mr. Fredericks.
Yeah,
and,
Civil War.
In fact, when they came, I was working with Woody. I actually ordered the stone to be placed in that cemetery for him. Because at the time, the United States government, when I called them, they said they have a crew to come out, but they need enough room to get in there to move things around. I said, it's just too much historical stones in here. I don't think we want that. And he suggests, why don't you just purchase your own?
So his original medal that was given to him by, I believe it would have been Grant. Grant probably would have been the president at the time. I don't know if it was exactly given by him, maybe a field officer, but it was commissioned. And the family gave to the town of Dayton, and we put it in the foyer of the police station. A lot of people, I know a lot of people don't want to go in a police station if they don't have to. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's nice to go down, and maybe we can get some footage of that and show it on this show and show people. Because,
we definitely can do that. That'd be great.
Because that's a very proud moment for Dayton. And I think as we move forward with these shows and we talk about the past history of the veterans that have actually resided in Dayton, you're going to be surprised to see, the contribution that Daytonians have made to this country.
Definitely.
And you're one of them.
True.
You're one of
But
them.
you go back to Mr. Anderson, though, he had a tough life. I mean, he was in there used to be a train to go around different towns, and he was pulled basically as a farm aide.
And he was adopted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after the war, I think when Tim Rines was alive, he did a lot of research on this too. And the sad part was when it was all over and he came back home, I think he died of a heart attack
He
in
died
his
around
40s.
40 years old, right?
Yeah.
But he married some local girl, right? Maybe from Somerset.
Yeah.
That's what I read.
But it was just so sad when you go to war like that and you want to come back in one piece, and then like 40 years old, boom, something happens to you.
But when they say what difference, can one person make? And I read the orders and, the reason for giving the medal. And apparently he was responsible for turning the tide of a whole battle by going out and taking the communication flags from the Confederates
Okay.
and turned the battle. And,
slow them up where they took advantage
so I guess
of it.
one person can make a difference.
Definitely.
So is there anything else you would like to tell us about your time in the military?
No, I mean, for those people thinking about it, I think it's a great opportunity. You get education. You get to pick the base most of the time where you want to go to. I was fortunate. I lived in California for 4 years. My other kid in the Marine Corps lived in Hawaii, which I really envy. And, sometimes you have to give something to your country to get something back. And it's, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably be that 19-year-old kid shaking in my boots, signing away. So, but once again, any veterans out there, I'd like to come to the show. You can communicate through Ray, or drop me a line at Cable, and we love to hear your stories or where you've been, and we'll take it from there.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
joining me here today.
Okay, and thank you for your service too. So
We hope that this is very educational and enjoyable to the residents of Dayton. And my message to them would be, if you like our show, let us know. If you don't like our show, let the cable committee know. And if you have any ideas or anyone would like to be on the show, please contact me at the office. Number is on the website, and my personal cell phone number is on that website. Feel free to call me anytime. And thank you very much.
thank you. Have a great day.